This is the Messiah Hour with Ari Louis.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of the Messiah Hour here on Israel Sports and News Radio. Thank you for joining us. We have a great episode today. At any time, you can email us at arilewishow@hotmail.com or messiahhour@hotmail.com, or you can email the station at Israel Sports and News Radio at gmail.com. Of course, a lot of people have been talking about the big news event that happened in Jerusalem, as on Sunday, July 26th, many people stormed the Temple Moount, appearing to riot or potentially riot. We have actually a witness that was there on the Temple Mountain to tell us all about it. On the line right now, back to the program, Jerusalem, Jane Kiel. How you doing out there?
Hey, Ari, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing great. So we saw the videos. I mean, you got incredible feedback. Thousands of people, about 9,000 people have seen your videos and about 200 shares. You were there. It's kind of a scary video. Not kind of. It is a scary video to watch what's going on. What was it like for you behind the camera?
Well, first of all, it was a very significant day yesterday. 9th of Ar, Hizbadah. You know, I wanted to go to the Temple Mount of all places. And when I arrived, of course, the tourists is in one line, the Jews are in the other line. Yehuda Glick is there making a speech about the whole situation with the Jews not being able to go. And it touched my heart every time me as a tourist just pass and go up and the Jews are left behind. Eventually I was waiting a long time, more than an hour. I see all the police going up the ramp. So I was like, okay, they are alert. So I go on the Temple Mount, and the minute I step my feet on the Temple Mount, I hear the first big poof, a huge bang. And I see all this police, and there's one policeman telling me, you gotta go this way, this way. So I go up and I hear the next big bang, and there was a large tourist group behind me, and they started to run. You know, oh, we gotta get down, we gotta get down. And I have this journalist inside of me that's like, I'm going the other way. I want to go and see what's going on. So I go as fast as I can. I grab my phone, and I just see all these police officers, you know, with all the gears running towards the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and all the Arabs are standing looking. So I start approaching the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and one of the Muslims are saying, no, you can't go, it's closed, everybody got to go down. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I just waited an hour to get up here. So I was like, why? I have to go down? It's not safe. Everybody go down, everybody go down. So I look at this guy and I said, you know what? If I just stand here and I don't move and you kind of protect me, can I stay? And I don't know what he was thinking, but he was just saying, okay, so you can stay. So I'm just starting my camera, and as you can see in the video, I'm not close to the mosque, but I can still hear all the bangs, and you know, people are screaming, and the police keep. And eventually, at that time when I'm standing there, I of course don't know what's going on inside the mosque. I can only see on the outside. And later we found out that all these, and I call them terrorists, you know, has barricaded themselves inside with stockpiles of rocks, wooden boards, fireworks, and other things, to launch attacks against the Jewish visitors going on the Temple Mount, and also to attack the security service. But the police got a tip on that, and that's why they are you know, forcing their way in. And there were 4 police officers getting hurt in all of this. So this is what's going on while I'm standing a little bit far away, just hearing these things, not knowing what's going on. So that's kind of like the background on the first things happening on the Temple Mount.
Were you at all scared, personally?
No, and that's the weird thing, because I was kind of writing an email to some of my friends yesterday saying, at no point was I scared. I can't explain it. I was curious. And as you can see in my video, I'm standing right out in the middle of everything. It's not like I'm pushed in a corner or up against the wall or anything. And so I'm standing filming this, and all of a sudden, like you see in my videos, they start coming towards me. All the Muslims start moving away from the mosque and coming towards me. And I want to tell you something, because you see an old gentleman with a cane speaking in this video, and before I started my phone, he comes up to me saying, you see all the noise that's going on in the mosque? Did you know what he told me? Jewish people were coming up here, and they are attacking and shooting at the Muslims in the mosque. And for sure I knew that was a lie, because that's not even
Wait,
possible.
can you just repeat that again for our audience? I just want everyone to hear that. Go ahead.
He told me, can you hear the noise in the mosque? That is Jewish people coming up here attacking and shooting at the Muslims in the mosque. So that's at that time I'm pulling out my phone and I said, would you say that on camera? And he was like, no, I just want to say that to you. And of course I know that's a big fat lie. And that's when I starting filming. And then, as you see in the camera, in my videos, they start coming towards me, and all of a sudden, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And then you see this old gentleman with his cane punching behind my back. I don't see what's going on behind me. And he says, look, look. So I turn around, and as you can see in the videos, now some Jewish people has ascended the Temple Mount. And you know what happens when they come, they have to have this huge police escort. So now all these guys who has been standing outside the mosque looking at all the riots, they are coming running towards the Jewish people. And you know what? For the life of me, I don't understand why Muslims don't behave. What is wrong with them? Why can't they just say, okay, Jews are here, let's just behave, let them walk around, see what they want to see, and leave? They don't know what that means. Every time Jewish people are coming, they have to run after them, intimidate, scream at them. So I turn around and of course I'm still filming, and you see I'm standing right in the middle of everything, and I have Arabs running on both sides of me. And then all of a sudden I have the police coming on both sides of me, and then you see what's going on in the video. And as I can tell, I see one of the Muslims in a white t-shirt shoving one of the police officers, and all of a sudden there's all this pushing back and forth, and then another one is moving, and more police are coming behind me. And you know what? Sometimes when you got caught in something and you're not prepared, you don't know how you're going to react. I talked a lot. I don't know. Maybe next time I'll be quiet and you can just see what's going on. And you know what? When you're standing there, you don't know how is this going to turn out? How much is this going to escalate? And especially because all the riots that have been going inside the mosque, these guys are wired up, you know. And when a group and a pack comes together like that and they're wired up, you never know what's going to go on. All I can say is thumbs up for the police, thumbs up for the IDF soldiers up there, because they were awesome. They are always awesome. So yeah, I was a witness to all of this firsthand.
Yeah, a lot of times people say that the police are not professional, or any security officials on the Temple Mount, they're anti-Jewish people, or they don't do things correctly, they're violent, whatever, but you thought they were very professional, they acted well.
Okay, well, I wish, that there was just free access and the Jews could go up without all the interrogation and all of these things, because I know it's a huge hassle every time Jews has to go on the Temple Mount coming from the police. But I also know that police, they are just doing their jobs. So that's kind of one side of it. But what I saw yesterday, of course, Ari, when the police get a tip that terrorist has barricaded themselves inside the mosque with all these fireworks and rocks. And I mean, we're talking, the police released a video, I also shared that, where you see what they are throwing at them. You see all the things that they were attacking. Of course the police take that serious, and they show up with the heavy guys and the tough guys, and with all their, their bars and all of these things. And they were very professional, and they went in and then utilized these things, and then started the things that I was a witness to. And you can see in the video that I think it was about maybe 5 Jews who comes up, and they are only maybe surrounded by 4 or 5 police officers. And then the Muslim sees them and, oh, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And of course, when the Muslim starts running towards the Jews, the police react. They have to react. So all of a sudden, like I told you, they are coming running from behind me, both the Muslims and the police, and you see how they clash. But the police, they are still calm and protecting the Jews. And when some starts to shout, they push back and you say, calm down. And you can see how quickly they get the situation under control. Of course, I have respect for that. And they stayed there. Then the Jews kept walking, and more police was following them. And then I wanted to move around, and they was like, no. And at that time, there were 2 guys from Germany. I was waiting in line with them. There were 2 men from Germany, but they were actually pushed up against the wall. They had backed all the way up to the wall, also taking pictures. And there was a young couple. We were the only one up there. Everybody else has left. And for the life of me, I can't explain why a young blonde woman was allowed to stand right in the midst, and the police were not pushing me away, or the Arabs were not attacking me. I don't really have the answer, except I think maybe, God protected me in the midst of this madness.
It's very fascinating that you bring this up because I'm curious if there are other media outlets out there, because we know a lot of times other media outlets, let's use CNN for example, they seem to portray the Israeli security forces as unfair or particularly violent towards Palestinians, which sometimes actually think they're violent towards Jews. Did you see any other media outlets up on the Temple Mount?
No, I didn't. After this, I have seen other film clips surface. I saw Jerusalem Post was sharing something from the other side. Someone was filming from the other side when Arabs were throwing the fireworks at the police, and then they backtracked into the mosque and the police came. I don't know who filmed that. I did not see any media outlets at all. So I think it must have been some civilian, like me, sharing stuff. And can I just say that today I saw 3 videos posted by one of the terrorists from inside the mosque. And that was actually very, very interesting to see what was going inside the mosque and how you see how they are dressed up and, all the Hamas green colors. And, they are terrorists. And you see the things they are firing and things they are throwing at the police and screaming in Arab about Al-Aqsa and, all of these things. Just evil. It's evil. When you think about how they knew that they know it very well that this is the day the Jewish people are mourning the loss of the first and the second temple. This is a day of fast. This is a very sad day for the Jewish people, and especially also mourning that the Temple Mount is not yours as of this time. And of course, what do? They pick this day to sleep over in the mosque, barricade themselves, to attack the Jewish people when they arrive. That's just pure evil. What can you say except that's just pure evil?
And they know that the Jews are fasting. They know it's a fast day. They know it's the morning day of the temple. I want to go to this other video that you showed where it's not quite on the Temple Mount. There are some Jews going down to pray, and people are yelling at them. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so after things kind of calm down, and I can see I'm not allowed to move anywhere, and I have these 3 police officers in front of me. They're kind of in between me and the Muslim men. And these Muslims men, are just looking at me. I'm standing, but of course they saw I filmed the whole thing. So I'm asking one of the police officers, says, "Can I move around?" And he was like, "No, that's probably not a good idea." So I said, "Okay, I'll leave." So there's just one gate open for us to exit out. So I go out and just maybe walk about 5 meters or something, and then all of a sudden I hear all this. First of all, there's a young guy in front of me screaming, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." And I want to say, I took the train to Damascus Gate, and then I walked down to the Muslim quarters to get up to the Temple Mount. And all the way in the Muslim quarter of the old city, there were police. There was a lot more police than normally, and especially in all the entrance to the Temple Mount. So of course they are still there. So now I'm coming off the Temple Mount, and they start Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And of course that's because the police have stopped more Arabs to go on the Temple Mount because of the riots. Everybody is stopped. The people on the Temple Mount were told to leave, and nobody can go up. That absolutely makes sense. And for them, they are only seeing this, as harassment, and now the police are stopping us, and we can't even be allowed to go to pray on the Temple Mount. Of course they can't go up when all the things are not under control. So I'm just standing there, and again, I'm just taking out my phone, and I'm just starting making a video. So I'm standing behind the Israeli police, and I see these 2 young Jewish boys just standing quietly, not even talking, just praying with their prayer books, facing the Temple Mount. Why? Because it's the night of awe. So they are just standing there quietly praying. And I see these Muslim women, one of them at one point, and I'm not quite sure if that's on my video, but one of them is actually almost up in one of these boys' faces, just screaming at him, harassing him. He's not even looking at her. He's not bothering her. He's just standing there praying to the God of Israel. But for them, she had to show this pure hate. And then a little bit further in the back, you see more police. And on the other side, and they are stopping Arabs who wants again to go to the Temple Mount. So all this Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, all this screaming going on. And then eventually the police are letting me go, and I make my way into the Muslim quarter, and again all these, and then I get closer to these women who are being held back, and I see one of he's an Arab, but he's coming with a big camera. So now he's filming how the police are preventing the Muslims to go on the Temple Mount, and I actually saw some footage yesterday of some of the Arab women screaming because they're not allowed to go up. So forgive me for saying this, but I think he was out making some, pro-Palestinian propaganda, that the Israeli police are horrible and they're discriminating the Arabs. But why? Because the Arabs were attacking the Jews on the Temple Mount. So kind of like a day of madness yesterday from all the Muslims on this mourning day for the Jewish people.
Again, this is the Messiah Hour here at Israel Sports and News Radio, and our guest is Jane Kiel talking about what happened on the Temple Mount on Sunday, July 26th. You talked about Rabbi Yehuda Glick giving a speech. For those who don't know, Rabbi Glick was almost assassinated about 7 or 8 months ago outside the Temple Institute, shot 4 shots, point-blank range, survived. He was given about a 10% chance to survive and did so. Tell us what that was like. Did he have a big crowd? Were a lot of people going towards him?
And I'm standing in line, I stand in line with all of these tourists, and I'm just waiting and I'm waiting, and I see Yehuda, but understand me right, at one point I wanted to go, and make a video of all of this, but at the same time I didn't want to lose my place in the line because I really wanted to go on the Temple Mount. So I couldn't really hear what he was saying, but I think there were about 30 Jews at that time actually standing listening to him. Can I share something with you that
Sure.
in one way really broke my heart, and at the same time made me so ashamed, and at the same time made me furious? Because, and I'm going to write a blog about this, because right has to be right. When I'm standing waiting in line to go on the Temple Mount, I have this group of tourists behind me, and I don't know where they're from, but they speak English, so I can understand. And when Yehuda starts to make a speech and more Jews are coming, one of the ladies in the group was saying, "Oh, great, now the Jews are starting to make problems. Can't they just leave? Because now it's going to prolong that they're going to make trouble, so we can't go up on the Temple Mount." And I was like, what? I mean, I was thinking, are you kidding? And I hear this, and they're a group of Christians from whatever country they are from, and several of them are pastors talking about preaching in their churches, and I hear them start talking about how annoying it is that the Jewish people of all days are doing this today when they are supposed to go to the Temple Mount to see the mosque and take pictures of the mosque. You know me and what I believe and what I stand for. So at one point, I can't keep quiet anymore. So I turned around and I said, "Excuse me, do you know what today is?" "No." And I said, "This is the 9th of Awe. This is the second holiest day for the Jewish people. The first temple was ruined. The second temple was ruined. This is a day of sorrow. They are fasting. And you should actually be honored that you are going on the Temple Mount today of all days." And they look like, the moon was made of green cheese or something. They were like, "What? What? Really? Oh, so that's why they want to go to the Temple Mount today." And I said, yes, this is a very significant day. This is the Jews' holiest place. So for a minute there, I thought, okay, maybe they finally got it. They're Christians. They read the Bible. And would you believe that one of the guys who at that time had revealed that he was a pastor is actually saying, "Can't the police just come and move them away so we can go to the Temple Mount and they're not, blocking our way?"
So it was inconvenient for him.
Completely. Can I say something? I
Sure.
felt so ashamed. I'm a Christian. I felt so ashamed. And I was looking around and I was saying, "God, please don't let there be any Jewish people hearing this. Please don't let there be any Jewish people hearing this, because this is so embarrassing." And Ari, one of the tasks that I'm trying to do here, being in Israel, is really to educate the Christian people, and to wake them up and say, if you say you're a Christian, read the Bible. I mean, this guy, all these people were interested in was to go and take pictures of that disgusting mosque. not knowing anything about the Temple Mount, the history of the Temple Mount, the Mount Moriah, all the things that took place up there, the first temple and the second temple. We as Christians don't have a faith if it wasn't for the God of Israel, if it wasn't for Israel and all the things from the Bible. I felt so ashamed. I was like, I need to turn around and clocked him. I mean, I'm telling you, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but do you know what I'm getting at here? That some Christians really, really, really need to wake up. So this is what I'm coming from. This is what I just faced. All these stupid, naive, selfish Christians, and I'm sorry, but there really are some of them, standing there blaming the Jewish people. Oh, what, can they just move because they're making trouble for us? And then I go to the Temple Mount, and then I see the Jewish people being attacked by these terrorist Muslims. So my heart was just really, I felt Jewish yesterday. My heart was bleeding for you. Really, seeing how, and Ari, that there are many, many good Christians. There are millions and millions of good Christians in the world who loves you, who gets it about Israel. Yesterday, I just happened to face a group who was so ignorant, and so I don't even know what kind of Christian they are, because that's not the kind of Christian I am. I know what the Bible says about Israel, know what the Bible says about the Jews people and about the Temple Mount and, comfort my people. And if it wasn't for all of this, I wouldn't have a faith, So yesterday when I came off the mount and I came home, I was like, what? Goodness, what a day this has been. Yeah.
Truly something. So when we talked, when you came to Israel, you talked about that you wanted to move here. Any regrets after seeing a day like July 26th? That you thought, "Mom, maybe I made a mistake. It's a little crazy out here."
Oh, I am so even more grounded now. I am even more, I'm telling you, after facing that evil yesterday, because it's evil. It is evil what's going up on there. It's so horrific that sometimes I feel like I can't even describe it. But something inside of me, there's this sense of justice. There's this sense of, you got to be kidding me. The world needs to see this. That's why I'm going there. That's why I'm making these videos, because the world needs to see that this is what the Jewish people are facing. And when I encounter what I did yesterday, everything inside of me was like, no, I gotta do it better. I gotta do it better. I gotta go back. I want to share this even more.
Again, this is another episode of Messiah Hour. This is another episode of Messiah Hour here on Israel Sports News Radio. My guest is Jerusalem Jane Kiel. So, what goal would you like to accomplish by making these videos? Again, they're on the way to going somewhat viral, about 8,000 in less than a day, and all these shares. What goal would you like to see? What would you like to see happen as a result of you going to the Temple Mount and filming what happened?
that it comes under Jewish restriction again, that it's going to be yours, you can go free, and you know what, one day it will. Benjamin Netanyahu said upon the election here in Israel that he had a question about the Temple Mount, and he said, you know what, I know this is the holiest place for us. I know the story about the Temple Mount, but I also know that if I, as Prime Minister, go in now and say, okay, let's take it by force, I'm going to start World War III. This is how sensitive. This is the most expensive real estate on the planet. This is what everybody is fighting about. This is God's mountain. That's why the fight about this is so crazy. So of course I understand what your Prime Minister is saying. One day it will be on the Jews' hands again, absolutely. Until that happens, when I meet ignorant people like standing in line yesterday who can say these things, not knowing anything, it just really shows me that I have so much work to do. I have so much work to do for Christians, for non-Christians, for the world to see that, first of all, you know how wrong I think that the Muslims are in control up there. But as long as they have, I want to do my best to show the world the discrimination they're doing, the hate towards the Jewish people. I'm just one person, but I really want to try to do the best and keep sharing my videos. And I got new threats coming at me actually for doing this. I that had to go to the police again, and after this video yesterday, I'm now aware that there are more bad guy watching me. I don't know exactly what that's going to turn out. So what I'm doing is not without consequences. And I don't know what's going to happen. And of course I'm going to use my common sense. I'm not stupid, but I will not be quiet. I will not stop standing with Israel. I will not stop showing the world what the so-called peace of religion are doing towards the Jewish people on the Temple Mount, because it's so horrific. It's so horrific. And every time I go up there, not every time, a couple of times, I have had these Muslims coming up to me telling all these lies about there was never a first temple, there was never a second temple, the Jewish people are coming up here to attack the Muslims. I need to share to the world that these are the lies and the propaganda that's going on. So we don't have ignorant Christians standing in line saying, oh my God, the Jewish people are annoying. Can they just be removed so we can go up? Instead, they should say, you know what? I'm grateful I can go on the Temple Mount. I want to go up. I want to stand with the Jewish people. I want to make a statement. This place belongs to the Jewish people. I want to pray to the God of Israel on the holy mountain of, Mount Moriah. So I got a lot of work. I got a lot of work cut out for me.
But again, even with all those threats, you sure it's worth it? Sure it's something you want to continue to do?
Absolutely, 100%. This is why I came. This is what I know in my heart that I'm supposed to do. And what am I supposed to do? Back down now? That would make me a coward. I'm saying I still have common sense. I mean, I still, try to. But you know what? If they want to get to you, they're gonna get to me no matter what. So what can I say? Yes, to answer your question, it's worth it. This is what I think I'm supposed to do with my life, and it's an honor for me to stand with the Jewish people every day.
Well said. And again, hats off to you for your coverage. It was interesting that there weren't a lot of media outlets up on the Temple Mount, but I'm sure they reported anyway, but you were actually up on the Temple Mount and reported what happened here on my program. And for those who want to see the video and see more of what you do, where should they go to?
If they are on Facebook, just type in Israel One Nation. That's my page. That's where all the videos are. And then I have a new webpage actually called www.jerusalemjane.com. And you will also find my videos there. I have a YouTube channel where the videos are being uploaded also, just called Jerusalem Jane. So that's where you find me.
All right. Again, this has been another episode of the Messiah Hour here on Israel Sports and News Radio. My guest has been Jerusalem Jane Kiel, talking about what happened on July 26th on the Temple Mount. A very, very scary situation. A lot of people storming up on the Temple Mount, upset about the Jews being up on there. And Jerusalem Jane Kiel got that on tape, up on YouTube. You can check it out and see for yourself what's going on. Don't always trust CNN's coverage. You can come here to Israel Sports News Radio, get the real deal. Jane, thanks so much for being on the show today. Great job as always.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you. Be well.